Guests checked in for one night, their bags neatly placed, their expectations high for a memorable stay. Yet some departed before the sun dared to kiss the horizon, their faces pale, their stories whispered in hushed tones of rooms where they were never truly alone. Others, bolder or perhaps simply more susceptible to the unseen, claimed to have shared their space with entities from another realm. This is the enduring tale of the hotel many now call the most haunted in America, a place where history has not merely unfolded, but has seemingly been etched into its very foundations, creating a magnet for shadows and whispers. Nestled high on a mountain overlooking the quaint, charming town of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, stands the majestic 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa. Its story began with grand ambitions, conceived as a luxurious mountain resort, a beacon of Gilded Age opulence designed to attract the wealthy elite seeking respite and rejuvenation amidst the pristine Ozark air. The initial construction, a marvel of Victorian architecture, brought skilled artisans and laborers to this isolated peak, transforming a rugged landscape into a sanctuary of sophistication. It was a place where carriages once rolled up to an elegant entrance, where ballrooms echoed with laughter and music, and where the promise of a serene escape was fulfilled for those who could afford its grandeur. However, the world, like all things, is subject to change, and the shimmering facade of luxury could not withstand the relentless tide of economic downturn. The Roaring Twenties gave way to the Great Depression, and the Crescent Hotel, once a vibrant hub, slowly faded into disrepair, its lavish rooms growing silent, its once bustling halls collecting dust. It was during this desolate period that a sinister figure emerged from the shadows, a man whose name would forever be intertwined with the hotel's darkest chapters, Norman Baker. Baker, a self-proclaimed doctor with no medical training and a history of deceit, saw not a decaying resort, but an opportunity shrouded in desperation. In 1937, Baker purchased the Crescent Hotel, transforming its elegant spaces into the Baker Hospital, a supposed cancer treatment center. He preyed on the vulnerable, promising a miraculous cure for cancer, a disease that at the time was a terrifying death sentence for many. His treatments were nothing more than concoctions of alcohol, carbolic acid, and various bizarre, ineffective mixtures. The suffering within those walls was unimaginable. Patients, desperate for a sliver of hope, entrusted their lives to Baker, only to find themselves subjected to brutal methods, severe medical malpractice, and ultimately death. The despair and anger of those who perished, far from their homes and families, became an indelible part of the hotel's fabric. The seeds of haunting were sown deep into the soil of the Crescent Hotel during Baker's reign of terror. Unmarked graves dotted the surrounding grounds, hastily dug to conceal the true number of his victims. The secrets of his horrific practices, the cries of pain, and the final breaths of his deluded patients lingered, creating an oppressive atmosphere that even after his downfall in 1940, refused to dissipate. It wasn't long before the first whispers of the supernatural began to circulate. Staff and subsequent guests, brave enough to venture into the hotel after its dark period, reported chilling occurrences. Unexplained noises echoed through empty corridors, apparitions flickered in peripheral vision, and sudden, icy cold spots permeated rooms, sending shivers down spines even on the warmest days. The local legend of the hotel being cursed, a place where the dead never truly left, began to take root, growing stronger with each terrifying account. The shadow of Norman Baker's horrific legacy stretches long over the Crescent Hotel, a dark stain that time and new ownership could never truly erase. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The very air within the Crescent Hotel seems to hum with the echoes of its past, a symphony of lingering presences whose stories have been meticulously documented over the decades. Among the most frequently encountered spirits is Michael, the Irish stonemason, whose life was tragically cut short during the hotel's arduous construction. A misstep, a plummeting fall, and his spirit became forever tethered to the very stones he helped lay. His spectral appearances are most often reported in room 218, a place where guests have described seeing a man in old-fashioned work clothes, sometimes stumbling, sometimes simply observing with a melancholic gaze before vanishing. Objects have been known to move, and disembodied whispers, often with a distinct Irish lilt, have been heard in this particular room, a testament to his continued, albeit silent, occupancy. Then there is the benevolent yet sorrowful presence of the nurse. Her spirit is said to roam primarily the fourth floor, the very area that once housed Baker's most critically ill patients. Guests and staff alike have reported seeing her, a phantom figure in a crisp white uniform, gliding silently through the corridors, occasionally adjusting an unseen blanket or offering a comforting, ethereal touch. Her presence is often accompanied by a faint scent of lavender or antiseptic, a poignant reminder of her tireless, yet ultimately futile efforts to alleviate suffering during the hotel's darkest era. She is believed to be one of the nurses who, despite the horrific circumstances, genuinely cared for Baker's victims, her spirit unable to find peace while the echoes of their pain persist. Another ethereal resident is known simply as the Woman in White, a mysterious figure whose origins are debated, but whose appearances are strikingly consistent. She is seen wandering the elegant halls, a shimmering, translucent form, sometimes glimpsed descending the grand staircase, her presence often noted by a sudden, inexplicable drop in temperature or a feeling of profound sadness. Some believe her to be a former guest, perhaps a heartbroken bride or a woman who met an untimely end within the hotel's walls during its resort days. Others suggest she might be a former patient, forever searching for a loved one or a way out of her suffering. Her silent vigil adds another layer of intrigue to the hotel's spectral tapestry. Deep within the hotel's foundations, in the chilling confines of the basement, lies the former morgue, a place where Baker's victims were often hastily processed and disposed of. This area remains a focal point for intense paranormal activity. Guests on guided tours and even staff venturing into its dimly lit spaces recount stories of disembodied groans, the sound of gurneys rolling across the concrete floor, and an overwhelming sense of dread. Electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, have been frequently captured here, revealing faint, tormented voices pleading or crying out in distress, seeming to confirm the lingering anguish of those who pass through its cold, unforgiving doors. These aren't merely anecdotal whispers. Countless guest testimonials and personal encounters lend credence to the hotel's haunted reputation. Visitors recount waking to find objects rearranged in their rooms, their personal belongings shifted from where they were left. Voices, faint and indiscernible, have been heard whispering just beyond earshot, and many have reported the distinct sensation of being watched, an unsettling feeling of unseen eyes following their every move. Some guests have experienced inexplicable touches, a gentle brush against an arm or a tug on their clothing, leaving them with an eerie certainty that they were not alone. Vivid, unsettling dreams, often featuring figures from the past or scenes of suffering, have also been a common report, leaving individuals emotionally shaken long after they depart. The emotional impact of these encounters varies widely, from sheer terror and a desperate desire to leave, to a profound sadness for the spirits, and even a strange sense of connection to the hotel's tragic history. The consistent nature of these phenomena has not gone unnoticed by the wider paranormal community. Numerous paranormal teams, equipped with sophisticated tools, have descended upon the Crescent Hotel, each seeking to capture definitive proof of the supernatural. Their investigations have yielded remarkable results, including a multitude of EVP recordings featuring clear, albeit faint, voices, some even responding directly to questions. Thermal imaging cameras have captured unexplained heat signatures and cold spots moving independently through empty rooms. EMF detectors frequently spike in specific locations, indicating anomalous electromagnetic fields. These findings, often replicated across different investigations, across different teams and using different equipment, solidify the notion that something truly extraordinary and undeniably active resides within these historic walls. Far from shunning its macabre past, the hotel has shrewdly embraced its haunted reputation. Ghost tours, led by knowledgeable guides, wind through its most active areas, captivating visitors with chilling tales and first-hand accounts. The hotel's marketing prominently features its status as America's most haunted hotel, turning its dark history into a unique selling point. This strategic acceptance of its spectral inhabitants has transformed what might have been a deterrent into a powerful draw, attracting thrill-seekers, paranormal enthusiasts, and curious travelers from around the globe. The legends, far from being dismissed, have become an integral part of the Crescent Hotel's identity, contributing to its unique appeal and ensuring its continued fascination. These aren't just old tales. These are the echoing cries of those who never truly left, their stories woven into the very fabric of the Crescent Hotel. Yet, despite the overwhelming volume of purported evidence and an almost universal acceptance of its haunted status, an undercurrent of skepticism persists, offering alternative, more rational explanations for the phenomena experienced within the Crescent Hotel. The creaking and groaning of an ancient building, settling and shifting with time, can easily be misinterpreted as disembodied footsteps or whispers. Drafts from old windows and ventilation systems might account for sudden cold spots, while flickering lights and power fluctuations, common in historic structures, could be attributed to faulty wiring rather than spectral interference. The human brain, ever eager to find patterns and make sense of the unknown, is also highly susceptible to the power of suggestion. Guests arriving with preconceived notions of a haunted hotel might unconsciously interpret ambiguous stimuli as paranormal activity, their imaginations filling in the blanks. What one person perceives as a ghostly apparition, another might dismiss as a trick of light or shadow. Challenges to the authenticity of some ghost sightings or evidence often highlight these psychological and environmental factors, suggesting that perhaps the hotel's reputation is more a product of human perception than supernatural reality. However, even in the face of such rational counterarguments, the enduring power of the Crescent Hotel's narrative remains undiminished. The belief in its haunting persists, deeply embedded in the local lore and continuously reinforced by new generations of visitors and investigators. There is an emotional resonance to the stories of suffering and injustice, particularly those surrounding Norman Baker's horrific tenure. The raw anguish of cancer patients, betrayed and exploited, their hopes dashed within these very walls, creates a profound human connection that transcends mere logic. People are drawn to these tales not just for the thrill of fear, but for a deeper understanding of human tragedy and resilience. The human fascination with the unknown, with the mysteries of death and the afterlife, finds fertile ground within the Crescent Hotel. It offers a tangible space where these profound questions can be explored, where the veil between worlds seems thinnest. The moral of the story, then, extends beyond simple ghost tales. It suggests that some places, imbued with intense emotional events, retain the indelible imprints of those experiences. The Crescent Hotel stands as a living monument, not just to architectural beauty and luxury, but to the darker aspects of human history: greed, deception, suffering, and ultimately, the enduring power of memory. It serves as a stark reminder of the lives that unfolded within its walls, a silent witness to both grandeur and despair. The ongoing debate whether these are truly the restless spirits of the dead or simply the powerful narratives we, as humans, create to process profound events only adds to its mystique. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between, a symbiotic relationship between the energy of past events and the receptive minds of those who now walk its halls. Ultimately, the Crescent Hotel stands as a testament to the fact that some stories are too compelling, too deeply ingrained in the collective consciousness, to ever truly disappear. Its history, both glorious and grim, has woven a tapestry of legend that continues to captivate and terrify. The whispers of Michael, the sorrow of the nurse, the mystery of the woman in white, and the lingering dread of the basement morgue all contribute to an atmosphere that transcends mere architectural presence. It is a place where the past feels palpably present, a constant unsettling companion. Whether one believes in ghosts or not, the impact of the Crescent Hotel is undeniable. It is a place that challenges perceptions, stirs emotions, and leaves an indelible mark on all who dare to cross its threshold. Fear doesn't need proof, just a story,